Hey, what's going on, my gamers? It's me, the same princess, coming back at you with a brand new video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a deep dive and try to explain to you why I think Meta Horizon World has been a gigantic failure and why its existence will only continue to hurt Meta and be a massive financial black hole. Before we get into that, I just want to say I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. This is how many I currently have. If you would like to support the channel, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe. And leave a comment letting me know what other videos you'd like to see me make. Because if I'm honest, I'm out of ideas. Now let's go ahead and dive on in. So I want to preface all of this by saying, none of this criticism is about the actual headset itself. I think the Quest 3 is an amazing headset, and all you have to do is look at my review about it in order to see why. But Meta Horizon Worlds has been Meta's huge push to try to create their own multiverse. This is something that Meta is currently building their entire headset around. And if you take a look at the teaser footage that Meta put out for their new UI update, you'll see that they are building the entire operating system on their headsets around Meta Horizon. On top of that, they built their entire avatar system just to work in Horizons, including a redesign that just recently went live and so far are not supported in any other titles. Now, the original avatars were usable in some other games, but they were originally created for Meta Horizon, and currently with their new updated avatar system, that is exclusive to Horizon. But the large majority of games don't even use them. It's honestly something that you could completely take out and you would barely miss them. I pretty much only ever see my avatar when I am in my home environment. And even then, I dislike seeing it because I would rather just be floating cans with some cartoonish looking body. It's not to say that it's not nice to have an avatar that looks like you, but when there's no real applications that you can use it in, what's the point? And all of this would be cool if Horizon World was fun. It's not. It's not a fun game. No, I'm not saying there's no way for you to have fun or enjoy the game. The most common thing that I'll see people say is that it's a fun game to play with friends. But let me ask you something. What game is not fun to play with friends? You could give a good group of friends a ball and some string, and I promise you they'll manage to have a good time. So when people say that they have fun in Horizon Worlds with friends, I believe them, but that doesn't make it a good game. Look at some of this gameplay. This is a gun game where you walk around and pick weapons up off the map. And in my experience, if you don't spawn next to a good weapon, you're dead. It's also very basic. There's no reload animation, you just press a button. None of the guns have any haptic feedback or recoil. And the bloom on the guns is so crazy that I feel like I have no control where my shots go. Now, this isn't a slight at the developers who made this world, because let's be honest, they're probably just children. But let's not pretend like this is good gameplay, especially when there's free-to-play shooters out there that are actually way better. Here's another world where you just drive around cars, that's all you do. And yeah, it's fun to drive around and hit these ramps for like 2 seconds, but the gameplay is so janky. The car is impossible to control, and if you look around and see other people driving, you'll notice that they are so far behind, and it looks so visually jarring that it's impossible to call it a good experience. This one is a cops and robbers game, and all you do is handcuff these dummies and then drag them to a police station. And that's the extent of the gameplay. Not to mention, all of these worlds are so small and contained. I don't even blame the developers because there's not much you can do with such little space. And all of these games are not just some small title that I randomly picked out. I was in the Horizon Plaza where they have all of the top games recommended for you and you just walk through the portal. These are the games that Meta is recommending to players, which means in their eyes, they're some of the best ones. The most popular one I see is this fishing game, and to be honest, it's really not that good. The casting is super janky. You can watch me here trying to cast. I'm holding the trigger, throwing it out, and it just doesn't work most of the time. Not to mention, it's so basic. You don't even have the reel on it, so to pull your line back in, you just have to flick your wrist back. The strongest metric for a game like this, in my opinion, is the single player experience. Now, obviously, the game's always going to be more fun with friends. It's a social game, but you should not need to have a group of people to enjoy something like this. especially when the entire point of Horizon World is to bring people together and make it easier for you to find friends. The majority of players going into this will not have a group their first time. So if you can't go into these games as an individual instead of a group and have a good time, how on earth do you expect to have a returning player base? From what I've seen, pretty much the only way to make friends in this game is to just walk up to random strangers and try to say hi and strike up a conversation. But when it's your first time in VR, going up to a group of strangers feels so weird and awkward. A lot of people won't do it at all. The amount of people I see walking around with muted mics on is way too high for a social game. And the ones that do have their microphones on are typically just children mic spamming. It's not a very pleasant environment, and it's super off-putting for new players. And it's not just the fact that it's hard to find a good group to play with. The games themselves are not good. And this is not me being some kind of gamer elitist looking down at the Roblox-style game and judging it by insane AAA standards. This is me looking at the game and going, wow, I feel bad for anyone who has to develop on this because it is so limited and so hard to make a fun experience. And it is possible to find a good group of people. I have done it and had fun in this game before, but it is so inconsistent. And the majority of times I log on, there's either no one in the world talking, or the people who are talking are just children. And not that I have anything against playing with kids. Every once in a while, it can be a fun experience. My problem is having to play with children every time you log into a world. Seriously, this game is like 90% kids. There's even 18+ worlds, which are supposed to be an escape for all the grown-ups to go and talk and hang out. But they're also crawling with kids most of the time. It's pretty much a guarantee that there's going to be some children in there. And the weirdest part about that is the app is supposed to be for 13 up. There is a report button in-game that lets you report people who are under 13. They have community guides in every single plaza that are supposed to be there to moderate the experience and welcome players. And yet still, the moderation is almost never applied. Or if it is applied, there are so many kids that I do not notice. So all of this becomes an issue. And the worst part about this report button is it doesn't always catch kids. I have seen a ton of people complaining that they have been required to provide their ID to Meta in order to verify their age. I have had this issue after playing Horizon, where my entire account is locked and I cannot play any of my games or access any of my apps, where my headset is essentially just bricked because their stupid system flagged my account for being under 13. And the craziest part about that is, to verify my age, I just had to provide the credit card on file, which is under my name. So Meta, if you already have my card and I've used it for many, many purchases, how the hell do you think you can brick my headset because I played your game and for some reason your crappy system flagged my profile? It doesn't make sense. So not only is the game bad, you might just get your entire headset bricked if you play it long enough. And I'll give Meta credit. After I complained about this, they gave me a $30 credit for the issue, and they were able to get my account back up within about a day. But how outrageous is that in the first place, that this can even happen? So now, I've established the player base of the game is not very good. The games are not very good. And you might get your account permanently banned if you play it. I think it's really important to address what a metaverse is, because it seems like Meta themselves do not understand. Their entire store page is the metaverse. Their metaverse is not just Horizon Worlds. So with how insistent they are on creating their own metaverse, it seems so insane to me that they just fundamentally misunderstood what that word even means. Meta sunk over $15.9 billion in Reality Labs just last year. Now, I know Reality Labs does not just do Meta Horizon. They do all kinds of cool tech stuff and prototyping and a bunch of sciencey jargon that I am not informed about, but I'll say a bunch of funny terms so that way it sounds like I'm educated, but I'm just a random person on YouTube and you should take my opinion with a grain of salt. but a lot of that $15.9 billion probably did go to Meta Horizon. How much money do you think it cost to create an AI generating clothing app? The new avatars are cool and they look nice, but how much do you think they cost to make them? How much do you think Meta makes on Horizon World? The only thing you can really buy in that game is clothing for your avatar. But I don't ever see anyone walk around in premium clothing. They already give you a ton of options clothing-wise for free. This app makes no money. This game continues to have money sunk into it, hoping to make it good, and they are still using that same engine, which is so limited that there is just nothing fun you can make. This is a game that was expected to be huge before it launched, but it's just not. So few people play it, and the people who do play it are kids who just cannot afford any other games, which means they have no way of giving you money if they do want to spend it. And to be honest, there is just better things you could do with those funds. Who remembers Echo Arena? One of the best free-to-play games that was ever on Quest gets bought by Meta, and then they kill it because it's not making money. Echo Arena was a much better introduction to social VR. Remember when I said that a lot of people will not go out of their way to walk up to a random group of strangers and try to start a conversation? Do you know how much easier it is to start a conversation with a group of people who you were assigned to a team? It is so much easier to make friends. It is crazy. Not to mention, gameplay actually fun. It was a really cool frisbee game where you could go around, hang onto people's backs, and punch them. It was cool. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Why'd you kill it? And it's not even like Meta is trying to make a profit off of the games that they develop. Asgard's Wrath 2, given away for free. I got Asgard's Wrath 1 for free. Batman VR, also given out free. I'm surprised they didn't just give Assassin's Creed out for free too. And why are they doing that? Because they want people to buy the headset and have fun things to play. But their flagship game, the one that they push to everyone and advertise all the time, is garbage. Which is why I said earlier in the video that the existence of Horizon World is bad for Meta. You are giving so many people what is probably their worst VR experience. You have options. You provide the biggest games on your platform for free. Could you imagine if they stopped dumping so much money into Meta Horizon and made cool free-to-play games instead? Games that don't all have to be built on the same engine. And instead of the most bare-bones experience you've ever played, you can play unique things. You could play some socially, like Echo VR or Population 1, which is also free to play. And the metaverse would be in a much better place because more people would use it. You would have more value when you buy a Quest headset. More people would take their Quest out of the box and without spending any additional money, have a good time. But instead of developing their own unique free-to-play games, they dump everything into Horizon Worlds. It all goes down the dumpster. No one plays it. It's not fun. Gameplay's bad. I'm mad. Fix your shit. And again, that's all said with love. I really like your headset and I just want it to grow. But you guys are also really bad sometimes and you make some pretty stupid decisions. So you need someone to yell at you every now and then. And we can all agree people are better off when they have a stern woman raising her voice at them. Now, this conversation got me a little heated. So that's why I am begging you, Meta. Please kill this game. Please stop building your OS around it. Right now, you are in something called a sunk cost fallacy, and you keep falling deeper into it. Invest in free-to-play titles. Kill off the ones that fail, and let the winners ride. And I promise you, when you end up getting your golden goose, people will actually want to buy skins for it. That's just my opinion. Feel free to call me a moron in the comments. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreons, Cakes and Mojo Bluey 97. People like you support the channel and give me a reason to smile. Yay! That's my rant of the week. I'm the Sam Princess, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!